Mysterious 1788 Massachusetts Liberty quarter-style dollar coin has become one of the most talked-about treasures in the world of coin collecting. When collectors hear the words 1788 and Massachusetts, attention immediately sharpens, because that year connects to the earliest days of American state coinage and experimental minting. These pieces were never mass-produced like modern coins, and that extreme scarcity is what fuels the legends surrounding their value. A single overlooked example tucked inside an old drawer could instantly transform into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. What makes this coin especially fascinating is the Liberty design often associated with early American symbolism. Liberty represented independence, authority, and the identity of a newly forming nation. Coins from this era were struck with primitive equipment, meaning every surviving piece carries unique character. Small imperfections, uneven rims, and slightly off-center strikes actually increase the charm and sometimes the value. Collectors don't just see metal, they see history frozen in silver. The Massachusetts connection deepens the mystery. During the late 1700s, states experimented with their own coinage due to limited federal minting. These coins were not always standardized, and some varieties were produced in extremely small quantities. That means certain examples may exist in only a handful of pieces today. When supply is that limited, even moderate collector demand can push values into astonishing territory. Another factor that drives excitement is the possibility of rare mint marks or die variations. Early coins often show subtle differences, spacing in letters, star arrangements, or Liberty portrait changes. A seemingly ordinary 1788 Massachusetts Liberty piece could secretly belong to an ultra-rare die pairing. These hidden varieties are what collectors hunt for, sometimes spending years studying small details under magnification. Condition plays a powerful role as well. A worn example still holds historical importance, but a sharply preserved coin with visible Liberty features can command dramatically higher prices. Coins that retain original luster, clean surfaces, and strong lettering become centerpieces in elite collections. Even slight improvements in grade can multiply value several times over. Stories circulate in the collecting world about forgotten heirloom coins suddenly reappearing. A family might pass down a small silver piece without realizing its origin. Years later, a collector identifies it as an early Massachusetts Liberty issue. That moment can feel surreal. The transformation from curiosity to prized artifact happens instantly. The silver composition adds another layer of intrigue. Early silver coins were often hand-prepared, and purity could vary slightly from batch to batch. This handcrafted nature makes each piece subtly different. Over time, silver develops a natural patina, sometimes creating deep gray or rainbow toning that collectors consider beautiful and desirable. Because so few confirmed examples exist, auction appearances generate intense anticipation. When a rare Massachusetts Liberty coin surfaces, bidders from around the world compete. The combination of age, rarity, and historical importance pushes enthusiasm higher with every bid. These moments are where legends about unimaginable worth are born. However, the biggest surprises usually come from previously unknown varieties. Experts sometimes discover a new die combination or unique strike characteristic. When that happens, the coin moves beyond collectible status into something truly exceptional. A newly identified variety can instantly attract museum-level interest. Collectors also value the storytelling power of these coins. Holding a piece dated 1788 connects directly to early American independence and state authority. The Liberty motif reflects ideals that shaped the nation. That emotional and historical connection adds intangible value beyond silver content. Authentication is critical for coins like this. Because the potential value is high, careful examination is necessary. Weight, diameter, edge style, and design details must match known characteristics. Professional grading can confirm authenticity and preserve the coin safely. Even damaged examples can still be valuable due to extreme rarity. Scratches, cleaning marks, or weak strikes reduce price, but they don't erase historical importance. Collectors often accept imperfections when the coin itself is scarce enough. Another powerful factor is demand from advanced collectors. Many high-end collectors try to assemble early American coin sets. When only a few examples exist, competition intensifies. That competition is what pushes certain coins into dramatic price ranges. Market timing also influences perceived worth. When interest in early American coinage rises, rare Massachusetts pieces attract more attention. A coin that once quietly sat in a collection can suddenly become the focus of aggressive bidding. The phrase, "don't spend it at a low price," comes from real caution. Owners sometimes underestimate unusual coins. Selling too quickly without research can mean losing significant potential value. Taking time to study the piece and consult experts is always wise. It's also important to understand that not every 1788 style coin is worth millions. Condition, authenticity, and rarity determine actual value. But the possibility of a rare variety is what keeps collectors searching. That uncertainty adds excitement to every discovery. Some examples gain fame after appearing in major collections. Once a coin is documented and photographed, it becomes part of numismatic history. Future collectors recognize it instantly, increasing desirability even further. If such a coin is discovered, preservation is crucial. Avoid polishing or cleaning. Original surfaces are highly prized, and cleaning can permanently reduce value. Keeping the coin in a protective holder maintains its condition. In the end, the 1788 Massachusetts Liberty quarter-style dollar represents more than just a coin. It symbolizes early American experimentation, scarcity, and the thrill of discovery. Whether worth thousands or far more, its real power lies in the possibility that a small silver piece from centuries ago could change everything the moment it is truly recognized. The story of the 1980 Liberty Quarter begins with a coin that most people overlook, yet collectors quietly search for it with intense curiosity. The 1980 quarter may appear ordinary at first glance, but certain rare mintmark variations, condition grades, and striking anomalies can transform this small piece of metal into something astonishingly valuable. Hidden inside pocket change, old jars, or inherited collections, this coin carries the possibility of surprising worth that many people never imagine. The 1980 Liberty Quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter design, featuring Liberty through the portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. While millions were produced, rarity is not always about low mintage alone. It is the combination of mintmark, condition, and rare minting errors that creates the dramatic price differences collectors talk about. Some coins that look identical at first can differ by thousands depending on these factors. In 1980, 3 primary mintmarks were used: no mintmark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Among these, the San Francisco strikes, especially proof coins, can become extremely valuable when preserved in flawless condition. A perfectly struck 1980 S-proof quarter with deep mirror surfaces and no blemishes can command impressive collector interest, particularly when graded at the very highest levels. Condition is where the magic truly begins. A circulated 1980 quarter may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated coin that has never touched everyday commerce can be dramatically more desirable. Coins graded MS 67 or higher are extremely scarce. At that level, every detail must be razor sharp, every surface nearly perfect, and the luster brilliant. These elite coins are the ones that ignite bidding wars. Then there are the rare mint errors, which collectors chase with excitement. A 1980 quarter struck off-center, double-struck, or with a clipped planchet instantly becomes unique. When such an error also exists in high condition, its value can multiply quickly. These unusual mistakes from the mint transform an ordinary quarter into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Another valuable variation is the doubled die effect. When the design appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during die creation, the coin becomes highly collectible. On some 1980 quarters, subtle doubling may appear on lettering or details. When confirmed and authenticated, these coins become much more desirable than standard issues. Luster is another overlooked factor that adds tremendous appeal. A 1980 quarter with blazing mint shine, untouched surfaces, and no contact marks can draw attention instantly. Collectors describe such coins as having a frosty glow, and this visual beauty often pushes values higher than expected. The Denver Mint 1980 D quarter can also surprise collectors. While many were produced, finding one in ultra-high grade is extremely difficult. Coins that survive decades without scratches, dullness, or wear are rare. When one appears graded at the top of the scale, collectors compete aggressively to secure it. Proof coins from San Francisco are particularly dramatic. These were specially struck for collectors with polished dies and planchets. Some 1980 S-proof quarters show deep cameo contrast, bright frosted design floating over mirror-like fields. When preserved perfectly, such coins become premium collectibles. Another factor that increases value is original packaging. If a 1980 proof quarter remains sealed in its original mint set, untouched since release, collectors view it as more desirable. The idea that a coin has remained preserved for decades adds to its appeal and market demand. Collectors also look for strike sharpness. A weakly struck coin lacks detail, but a sharply struck 1980 quarter shows crisp hairlines, bold lettering, and defined eagle feathers. These small details can dramatically influence value when grading professionals evaluate the coin. Silver confusion often adds excitement. Although standard 1980 quarters were copper-nickel clad, some collectors mistakenly believe they are silver. However, rare transitional or unusual compositions, though extremely uncommon, would create extraordinary interest. If such a coin were confirmed, it could command dramatic attention. Market demand plays a huge role as well. When collectors begin searching heavily for a specific year, prices can climb. The 1980 quarter gains attention because it sits in the modern era, where high-grade survivors are surprisingly scarce. This scarcity fuels collector enthusiasm. Grading certification is another major factor. Coins authenticated by professional grading companies receive numeric grades that determine value. A jump from MS-66 to MS-67 can multiply price significantly. The highest graded examples become trophies for advanced collectors. The visual eye appeal cannot be ignored. A coin with rainbow toning, natural color, or unusual brilliance becomes more attractive. Some 1980 quarters develop beautiful hues over time, and collectors often pay premiums for these naturally toned examples. Rarity within condition creates the biggest surprises. Millions exist, but only a tiny fraction survive in flawless state. This imbalance between supply and demand is what creates the possibility of dramatic value differences. Collectors often search bankrolls hoping to find hidden treasures. Occasionally, someone discovers a near-perfect 1980 quarter that escaped circulation. These discoveries keep the dream alive and drive continued interest in this coin. Auction records sometimes shock new collectors. When a top-graded 1980 quarter appears, it may sell for far more than expected due to competition. The rare combination of grade, luster, and strike creates excitement among bidders. The legend of the valuable 1980 Liberty quarter continues because it represents possibility. Most are ordinary, yet a few exceptional examples stand far above the rest. Those rare survivors in perfect condition, with strong mint marks and unique features, are the ones that capture attention and can transform a simple quarter into a prized collectible with remarkable worth. The 1987 Liberty quarter is one of those coins that quietly sits in drawers and old jars while collectors secretly hope it turns out to be something extraordinary. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary Washington quarter from everyday circulation, but certain rare mintmark varieties and unusual errors from 1987 can transform this simple coin into a highly desirable collectible. The excitement around this coin comes from the idea that something so small and common could carry surprising value, especially when preserved in exceptional condition or struck with rare characteristics. In 1987, quarter-dollar coins were produced for circulation at multiple mints, and most of them were used in everyday transactions. Because of that heavy use, finding one in pristine condition today is already uncommon. Coins that escaped circulation and remained untouched can display crisp details, bright luster, and sharp edges, all of which dramatically increase collector interest. When collectors see a 1987 Liberty quarter that looks nearly perfect, they immediately recognize that it might be something special. The real fascination begins when a 1987 quarter carries a distinctive mint mark. Coins from certain mints sometimes show subtle differences in strike quality, surface finish, or alignment. These tiny details are nearly invisible to the casual eye but extremely important to experienced collectors. A well-struck 1987 quarter with a clear mint mark and nowhere can command a much higher premium than an ordinary example pulled from circulation. Another factor that pushes value higher is the presence of mint errors. Some 1987 quarters were struck with off-center designs, doubled lettering, or die cracks. These mistakes happened during the minting process and were never intended for release, yet a few slipped into circulation. When collectors discover these unusual pieces, they often consider them far more interesting than standard coins. The rarer the error and the cleaner the coin, the stronger the demand becomes. Condition plays a powerful role in determining how valuable a 1987 Liberty Quarter can be. Coins graded at the highest levels show no visible wear, no scratches, and full original shine. These top-tier examples are extremely difficult to find because most coins from 1987 were used immediately. When a coin survives in nearly flawless condition, collectors compete for it, and that competition can drive prices much higher than expected. There is also excitement surrounding uncirculated rolls and original mint sets from 1987. Some collectors search through these carefully stored coins hoping to discover a perfect specimen. Occasionally, one emerges with exceptional quality, deep luster, and sharp design elements. When that happens, the coin suddenly stands out from millions of ordinary pieces and becomes a highlight for collectors chasing top-grade examples. Another element that adds intrigue is the possibility of double dies. This occurs when the coin design is accidentally impressed twice at slightly different angles. The result is subtle doubling in letters or numbers. A 1987 quarter showing this effect can attract serious attention, especially when the doubling is visible without magnification. These varieties are rare and often sell for much more than regular coins. Collectors are also drawn to coins with strong eye appeal. A 1987 Liberty Quarter with bright silver color, smooth surfaces, and sharp portrait details can look stunning even though it was originally made for everyday use. When such a coin appears at auction, bidders often recognize its rarity and compete aggressively. This is when values begin to climb beyond normal expectations. However, it is important to understand that not every 1987 Liberty Quarter is worth a fortune. Most are still common and only worth face value. The extraordinary prices people talk about usually apply only to coins with exceptional grade, rare errors, or unusual mint characteristics. The difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one can be extremely small, yet financially significant. Some collectors dream of discovering a coin that changes their financial future overnight. While this idea is exciting, reality is more grounded. Even the rarest 1987 quarters typically sell for hundreds or sometimes thousands of dollars rather than millions. Still, the thrill of the hunt keeps collectors searching because unexpected discoveries do happen. The 1987 Liberty Quarter also attracts attention because of its historical placement. It represents a period when coin production was high and quality varied. This combination created opportunities for rare high-grade survivors and unusual mint errors. Over time, these coins became more difficult to locate, increasing their desirability among collectors. Another reason these coins gain value is population rarity. If only a handful of 1,987 quarters exist in top condition, collectors compete intensely for them. Auctions can become dramatic, with bids rising quickly as participants try to secure the best example available. This competitive environment often creates headlines about surprisingly high prices. Surface preservation is another key factor. Coins that avoided scratches, contact marks, or discoloration maintain a fresh appearance. A 1987 quarter with smooth fields and bright luster can look almost newly minted. This level of preservation is rare and greatly appreciated by collectors seeking the finest possible examples. Sometimes, coins stored for decades in protective holders reveal exceptional quality when finally examined. A 1987 Liberty Quarter that spent years untouched may emerge with stunning brilliance. When graded professionally, such coins occasionally achieve top ratings, making them stand out dramatically from ordinary pieces. The design itself also contributes to collector interest. The familiar Liberty-inspired imagery combined with the Washington portrait gives the coin classic appeal. When this design appears sharply struck and perfectly centered, it enhances visual impact. Collectors often pay premiums for coins that combine rarity with attractive presentation. Occasionally, rumors spread about coins worth millions, fueling excitement and curiosity. While these stories are often exaggerated, they encourage people to check their change and examine old coin collections. This widespread attention keeps the 1987 Liberty Quarter in the spotlight and continues to inspire new collectors. The market for these coins depends heavily on demand. When more collectors begin searching for high-grade 1987 quarters, prices tend to rise. Conversely, when interest cools, values may stabilize. This natural fluctuation makes coin collecting both fascinating and unpredictable. The 1979 Liberty $1 coin featuring Susan B. Anthony is one of the most talked about modern U.S. coins, not because it is made of silver, but because a few rare varieties and high-grade examples can command surprisingly strong prices. When collectors first look at this coin, they often mistake it for an ordinary circulation dollar, yet certain details, mint marks, strike quality, and die varieties, can transform an everyday coin into something much more desirable. In 1979, this dollar coin was produced to honor Susan B. Anthony, and it became the first U.S. circulating coin to depict a real historical woman. The coin's small size and copper-nickel composition made it easy to confuse with a quarter, which limited its popularity in circulation. Ironically, that limited use helped preserve some coins in excellent condition, and today those pristine examples attract collectors searching for the finest pieces. The most famous 1979 variety is the 1979 P wide rim, or near-date version. On this coin, the date appears closer to the rim than usual, creating a subtle but important difference. Collectors hunt this variety because it was struck in smaller numbers compared to the common narrow rim version, making it one of the key discoveries in the Susan B. Anthony series. When found in circulated condition, most 1979 coins are worth only a modest premium. But when a wide rim coin appears in brilliant, uncirculated grade, the value increases dramatically. Professional grading services can push top-quality examples into hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when the coin displays strong luster and minimal contact marks. Another valuable version is the 1979 S-proof coin with a clear, sharp mint mark. Proof coins were struck for collectors using polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like surfaces. Some 1979 S-proof coins show a Type 2 mint mark that is more refined and sharply formed, and these are particularly sought after. Collectors often emphasize condition above all else. A coin graded at the highest levels, near perfect, can be worth many times more than the same coin with small scratches. This is why unopened rolls and original mint packaging from 1979 still attract attention from collectors hoping to find untouched gems. Although many people call this a silver coin, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is actually copper-nickel clad. This means its value comes from rarity and collector demand rather than precious metal content. That misunderstanding often fuels excitement, as people believe they may be holding a hidden silver treasure. The Philadelphia mint coins without a mint mark are the most studied. Within this group, the wide rim variety stands out as the star. Finding one in high grade is rare, and collectors carefully inspect the distance between the date and rim to identify it. Denver-minted 1979 D coins are usually more common, but top-graded examples still command premiums. Coins with strong strikes, especially on the hair details and eagle feathers, tend to bring higher prices. Subtle differences like these can make a noticeable impact. San Francisco proof coins provide another level of collectability. The reflective surfaces and frosted designs create an eye-catching contrast. When preserved in original condition without haze or scratches, these coins remain favorites among collectors. Sometimes, errors add even more excitement. Off-center strikes, double dies, and misaligned dies from 1979 can elevate value significantly. These unusual mistakes are rare and draw intense interest when authenticated. The popularity of the Susan B. Anthony dollar has grown over time. What was once overlooked has now become a short, collectible series with clear key varieties. This shift has encouraged more people to check old collections and bankrolls. Collectors often advise never cleaning these coins. Cleaning reduces value dramatically because it destroys the original surface. Even a rare wide rim coin can lose most of its premium if polished. Original luster is one of the most important value indicators. When light reflects evenly across the coin surface, it signals minimal handling. Coins that retain this brilliance often bring the highest offers. Packaging also matters. Coins still sealed in mint sets from 1979 sometimes grade higher because they were protected from circulation. These sets remain a popular source for potential high-grade discoveries. Market demand plays a role as well. As more collectors complete Susan B. Anthony sets, the demand for top-quality 1979 coins continues to rise. This steady interest supports stronger prices for the best examples. It's important to stay realistic about value. Most 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are not worth millions, but the rarest varieties in exceptional condition can still be surprisingly valuable. The excitement comes from the possibility of finding a standout piece among common coins. Careful inspection is key. Checking the rim spacing, mint mark clarity, and overall condition can reveal whether a coin is ordinary or collectible. Even small differences can change value significantly. For collectors, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar represents opportunity. It's affordable to search, widely available, and still holds hidden varieties waiting to be discovered. That combination keeps interest alive. So if you find a 1979 Liberty Susan B. Anthony dollar, don't rush to spend it. Examine it closely, compare the rim style, and preserve its condition. The right variety, in the right grade, could turn a simple $1 coin into a standout collectible with remarkable appeal. The story of the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin begins like a hidden treasure waiting quietly in plain sight. Many people overlook this small, silver-colored dollar because it resembles a quarter, yet collectors know that certain examples from 1999 carry an excitement that feels almost electric. When one appears in sharp, untouched condition, it can spark bidding wars and intense curiosity. The idea that a simple pocket coin could suddenly become the centerpiece of a valuable collection is what makes this piece so fascinating. In 1999, the coin returned after nearly 2 decades, creating a short and unusual production window. That sudden comeback created a sense of rarity compared to other years. Some collectors believe that the limited circulation combined with pristine survival rates makes the 1999 issue feel special. When a coin appears with strong luster, crisp lettering, and flawless surfaces, it immediately separates itself from common examples and enters a higher tier of desirability. The mint mark plays a huge role in the excitement. Coins struck with the P, D, or S mint marks each have their own personality. Philadelphia pieces often appear in circulation, but flawless ones are surprisingly difficult to find. Denver examples sometimes show sharper strikes, and San Francisco coins, especially proof versions, shine with mirror-like surfaces that collectors chase. When these coins remain perfectly preserved, their appeal increases dramatically. Collectors often describe the surface of a top-grade 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar as glowing with a soft silver brilliance. The fields look smooth and reflective, while the raised portrait appears sculpted with precision. When light moves across the coin, it creates a shimmer that signals quality. This visual beauty alone can turn an ordinary-looking dollar into something that feels premium and collectible. The reverse design adds another layer of fascination. The eagle landing on the moon gives the coin a historic atmosphere. It ties the small dollar to space exploration and national pride. On a well-preserved 1999 coin, the feathers of the eagle appear sharp and defined, and the lunar surface shows subtle detail. These features make collectors inspect every angle carefully, hoping to find a near-perfect specimen. Condition is where the value story truly begins. A worn coin may remain close to face value, but a coin graded in near-perfect mint state can climb dramatically. Tiny differences, no scratches, full luster, and strong strike, can transform the coin's status. This is why people search rolls, old jars, and forgotten drawers, hoping to discover a pristine 1999 example hiding unnoticed. Proof coins from San Francisco add even more excitement. These were struck with extra care, giving them deep mirror surfaces and frosted designs. When preserved in original holders, they appear almost like miniature medals. Collectors often prize these pieces because they combine beauty, limited production, and historical significance in one compact coin. Some 1999 coins also show minor striking variations or unusual characteristics. These small differences, like sharper rims or slightly different finishes, make collectors pause and examine closely. Even subtle distinctions can create buzz among enthusiasts who enjoy identifying coins that stand apart from the majority. Another factor that fuels interest is the coin's comeback story. After the series ended in 1981, few expected it to return. Yet in 1999, the demand for dollar coins revived production briefly. This unexpected reappearance gave the 1999 issue a unique place in the timeline. Collectors often see it as the final chapter of the Susan B. Anthony dollar era. The metallic composition gives the coin its distinctive appearance. Though often called silver by casual observers, it is actually a copper-nickel-clad coin. Its silvery tone still creates a classic look, especially when uncirculated. When untouched, the surface reflects light with a subtle glow that enhances its collectible charm. Graded examples sealed in protective holders often attract the strongest attention. When a coin receives a very high grade, collectors view it as elite. These top-tier pieces sometimes sell for far more than ordinary versions, especially when demand increases. The difference between average and exceptional becomes striking in these cases. The small size of the coin adds to the surprise factor. People rarely expect a compact dollar coin to hold strong collector appeal. This contrast, small coin, big interest, creates the feeling of hidden potential. It encourages collectors to examine every 1999 piece carefully. The portrait itself also carries symbolic importance. Susan B. Anthony represents determination and change. Having her image on a coin adds historical meaning beyond monetary value. When collectors hold the 1999 coin, they often feel connected to that legacy. Shiny, untouched rolls of 1999 coins occasionally surface, sparking excitement. These discoveries create the possibility of finding high-grade examples. Each roll becomes a miniature treasure hunt, with collectors hoping one coin stands above the rest. Market demand also plays a role. When interest in small dollar coins rises, attention returns to the 1999 issue. Collectors who missed earlier opportunities begin searching again, and the spotlight brightens. This renewed attention can push standout coins into higher value territory. Another appealing aspect is affordability at entry level. Many people can still find circulated examples cheaply, which invites beginners into collecting. From there, the hunt for better condition coins begins, gradually leading to higher grade pieces. The design balance makes the coin visually pleasing. The clean portrait, bold lettering, and space-themed reverse combine into a simple yet powerful layout. When perfectly struck, the coin looks refined and elegant. Because the 1999 issue marks the end of the series, it holds emotional significance for collectors. Final year coins often receive special attention, and this one is no exception. It represents the closing moment of a unique chapter in U.S. coinage history. In the end, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar stands as a coin full of quiet potential. Most examples remain ordinary, but exceptional pieces capture imagination and demand. The possibility that one brilliant, flawless coin could emerge from circulation keeps collectors searching, studying, and holding on to every promising $1,999 they find. The 1979 Liberty $1 coin featuring Susan B. Anthony is one of the most talked about modern U.S. coins, not because it is made of silver, but because a few rare varieties and high-grade examples can command surprisingly strong prices. When collectors first look at this coin, they often mistake it for an ordinary circulation dollar, yet certain details, mint marks, strike quality, and die varieties, can transform an everyday coin into something much more desirable. In 1979, this dollar coin was produced to honor Susan B. Anthony, and it became the first U.S. circulating coin to depict a real historical woman. The coin's small size and copper-nickel composition made it easy to confuse with a quarter, which limited its popularity in circulation. Ironically, that limited use helped preserve some coins in excellent condition, and today those pristine examples attract collectors searching for the finest pieces. The most famous 1979 variety is the 1979 P wide rim, or near-date version. On this coin, the date appears closer to the rim than usual, creating a subtle but important difference. Collectors hunt this variety because it was struck in smaller numbers compared to the common narrow rim version, making it one of the key discoveries in the Susan B. Anthony series. When found in circulated condition, most 1979 coins are worth only a modest premium. But when a wide rim coin appears in brilliant, uncirculated grade, the value increases dramatically. Professional grading services can push top-quality examples into hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when the coin displays strong luster and minimal contact marks. Another valuable version is the 1979 S-proof coin with a clear, sharp mint mark. Proof coins were struck for collectors using polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like surfaces. Some 1979 S-proof coins show a Type 2 mint mark that is more refined and sharply formed, and these are particularly sought after. Collectors often emphasize condition above all else. A coin graded at the highest levels, near perfect, can be worth many times more than the same coin with small scratches. This is why unopened rolls and original mint packaging from 1979 still attract attention from collectors hoping to find untouched gems. Although many people call this a silver coin, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is actually copper-nickel clad. This means its value comes from rarity and collector demand rather than precious metal content. That misunderstanding often fuels excitement, as people believe they may be holding a hidden silver treasure. The Philadelphia mint coins without a mint mark are the most studied. Within this group, the wide rim variety stands out as the star. Finding one in high grade is rare, and collectors carefully inspect the distance between the date and rim to identify it. Denver minted 1979 D coins are usually more common, but top-graded examples still command premiums. Coins with strong strikes, especially on the hair details and eagle feathers, tend to bring higher prices. Subtle differences like these can make a noticeable impact. San Francisco proof coins provide another level of collectability. The reflective surfaces and frosted designs create an eye-catching contrast. When preserved in original condition without haze or scratches, these coins remain favorites among collectors. Sometimes, errors add even more excitement. Off-center strikes, double dies, and misaligned dies from 1979 can elevate value significantly. These unusual mistakes are rare and draw intense interest when authenticated. The popularity of the Susan B. Anthony dollar has grown over time. What was once overlooked has now become a short, collectible series with clear key varieties. This shift has encouraged more people to check old collections and bankrolls. Collectors often advise never cleaning these coins. Cleaning reduces value dramatically because it destroys the original surface. Even a rare wide rim coin can lose most of its premium if polished. Original luster is one of the most important value indicators. When light reflects evenly across the coin surface, it signals minimal handling. Coins that retain this brilliance often bring the highest offers. Packaging also matters. Coins still sealed in mint sets from 1979 sometimes grade higher because they were protected from circulation. These sets remain a popular source for potential high-grade discoveries. Market demand plays a role as well. As more collectors complete Susan B. Anthony sets, the demand for top-quality 1979 coins continues to rise. This steady interest supports stronger prices for the best examples. It's important to stay realistic about value. Most 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are not worth millions, but the rarest varieties in exceptional condition can still be surprisingly valuable. The excitement comes from the possibility of finding a standout piece among common coins. Careful inspection is key. Checking the rim spacing, mint mark clarity, and overall condition can reveal whether a coin is ordinary or collectible. Even small differences can change value significantly. For collectors, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar represents opportunity. It's affordable to search, widely available, and still holds hidden varieties waiting to be discovered. That combination keeps interest alive. So if you find a 1979 Liberty Susan B. Anthony dollar, don't rush to spend it. Examine it closely, compare the rim style, and preserve its condition. The right variety, in the right grade, could turn a simple $1 coin into a standout collectible with remarkable appeal. The 1980 Liberty $1 coin honoring Susan B. Anthony is one of those pieces that quietly sits in collections while sparking huge excitement among treasure hunters. At first glance it looks ordinary, almost similar in size to a quarter, but collectors know that certain examples from 1980 can carry far greater appeal than their face value. The thrill comes from the idea that a simple dollar coin, forgotten in a drawer for decades, might suddenly become the star of a collection. When the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar was released, it came after the short-lived 1979 introduction. Many people had already ignored the design because of confusion with quarters, so fewer coins circulated widely. This lower circulation interest later helped collectors pay closer attention to surviving pieces, especially those in pristine condition. Coins that escaped wear, scratches, and dulling became the ones that collectors chase today. The 1980 issue was struck at multiple mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced coins with subtle differences that dedicated collectors love to study. These small variations, tiny details in the lettering, the finish, or the mint mark, are where value begins to grow. A sharp, well-preserved example from any mint can command far more than a circulated coin that has spent years changing hands. Condition plays the most powerful role in determining value. A 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar that still shines with original luster, strong details in the hair, and crisp edges can jump significantly in price. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels are especially desirable because so few survive without even microscopic wear. Collectors compete for these top-tier coins, pushing their value far above common examples. One of the most talked-about versions is the 1980 S-proof coin. These were specially made for collectors, struck with polished dies and mirror-like surfaces. Some proof coins show clearer mint marks and sharper contrast between frosted design and mirrored background. When these proofs remain flawless, they become highly collectible and far more valuable than circulated coins. Another factor that sparks excitement is the possibility of minting quirks. Slightly off-center strikes, doubled lettering, or unusual die characteristics can transform an ordinary coin into a collector's prize. These errors are rare and unpredictable, which is why enthusiasts carefully inspect every 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar they find. A genuine mint error can multiply the coin's desirability overnight. Despite dramatic claims often seen online, most 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollars are not worth millions. However, the most exceptional examples, perfectly preserved coins or rare varieties, can still reach impressive prices at auctions. The excitement comes from the possibility, not the guarantee. A coin that looks ordinary could still surprise a collector if it meets the right criteria. Collectors also value originality. Coins that have never been cleaned, polished, or altered tend to command stronger prices. Cleaning may make a coin look shiny, but it actually damages the natural surface that collectors want. A naturally toned $1,980, even with slight aging, is often more desirable than an artificially bright one. The design itself adds to the coin's appeal. The portrait of Susan B. Anthony represents determination and change, while the reverse featuring the eagle landing on the moon echoes the spirit of exploration. This combination of history and symbolism gives the coin emotional value, not just monetary worth. Many collectors keep these coins for their meaning rather than selling them. Scarcity in top condition is another reason values climb. Millions were minted, but very few survived untouched. Coins stored in rolls, mint sets, or protective holders often emerge decades later in stunning condition. When these appear, collectors compete quickly, sometimes driving prices higher than expected. The 1980 P and 1980 D circulation coins can also become valuable when found in superb condition. Sharp rims, full lettering, and brilliant luster make them stand out. These characteristics signal that the coin avoided heavy circulation, making it more attractive to grading services and buyers alike. Grading services play a major role in today's market. A certified high-grade 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar can sell for far more than an ungraded coin. The grade provides confidence to buyers, and the plastic holder protects the coin from further damage. This combination helps preserve value over time. Collectors also enjoy searching bankrolls and old collections. Because many people ignored these coins for years, some high-quality pieces remain hidden. The thrill of discovery keeps interest alive, especially among new collectors hoping to find a standout example. Another appealing aspect is affordability at entry level. Even though top examples can reach high prices, common coins are still easy to obtain. This allows beginners to start collecting and gradually upgrade their pieces. Over time, a collection of better condition coins can become quite impressive. Market demand also influences value. When interest in US dollar coins rises, prices for high-grade examples often follow. Auction results, collector forums, and coin shows all contribute to shifting demand. A coin overlooked one year may become popular the next. Patience is key when evaluating a 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar. Rushing to sell without proper inspection can mean missing a better opportunity. Careful examination, possibly with magnification, helps identify sharp details, original luster, and potential varieties. Storage is equally important. Keeping the coin in a protective holder, away from humidity and handling, preserves its condition. Even a small scratch can reduce value, so collectors treat high-quality examples with extreme care. The excitement surrounding this coin often comes from stories of unexpected finds. Someone discovers a bright $1,980 in an old envelope, sends it for grading, and suddenly owns a far more valuable collectible. These stories fuel the fascination and encourage others to search their own coins. In the end, the 1980 Susan B. Anthony Liberty Dollar is not guaranteed to make someone a billionaire, but it absolutely holds the potential to become a valuable collectible. With the right condition, mint variety, and preservation, this humble coin can transform from a simple dollar into a prized piece that collectors eagerly pursue.